Welcome everyone. This is No Bullshit Gaming Podcast 2.5 Gamers session number 63. We are sharing actionable insights, dropping knowledge from our day-to-day user acquisition, game design, and other monetization jobs. Definitely not discussing the latest industry news, but we're having so much fun. Let's not forget this is 4 a.m. conference discussion vibe. Let's not take it too seriously. Welcome, guys. Welcome, Felix. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome, Jakub. So we have Jakub Premier, Felix Braberg, and myself, Matej. Oh, what are you telling me? Why? I'm laughing.
This is a very early morning episode. We're recording at 7 a.m. because
what are you talking about? 10 for me. Well,
is it nice being in the most powerful country in the world?
It's okay. It's okay. The internet sucks as always. You know how it is. I need to shut down all the other.
It's probably all those aircraft
apps.
Carriers are buying, so they can't afford good internet.
Oh, but just to be.
At least you're safe.
Yeah, sure. No, but honestly, this is way better than last year. Maybe it's because of my MacBook, which is now a new one. Last year I had the old one. It was just fucking terrible. Anyway. So a few really important news. So MAU in Vegas is coming, and we are going to be there with Felix, and we have a live podcast happening. It's going to be 20 minutes packed with actionable and entertaining insights. So that's on stage, hopefully. I just got confirmation from the organizers. Plus, we're recording, I guess, something on the spot. So if you want to stop by and be part of it, let us know, because why not? We can do that. Since I'm in the US, I can buy a lot of shit on Amazon, so I'm gonna just buy some podcast traveling kit with microphones and stuff. No, man, every day there's like 5 guys from Amazon Prime knocking on our doors because Romy is ordering shit. Anyway. And we're also co-organizing a fun night at Anchor Beach Club with UAP, Sensor Tower, and Metric Works. So if you want to be there, also register on the link in the show notes or just ping me. It's going to be a lot of fun. And before we start, we have a very, very big announcement because today's episode, is brought to you by Mistplay, the number one loyalty app for mobile gamers. Mistplay is a media source that leverages continuous rewarded engagement to drive retention and LTV for advertisers. So they're not an ad network or SDK. It's just a standalone loyalty app with their own engaged user base, million gamers and spenders seeking to discover their next favorite game. So how is this different from classic rewarded traffic? Mistplay kind of continuously rewards the users over time, not on a per event basis. And also their value proposition is very simple. It's, like I said, loyalty powered UA that drives increased LTV and some other stuff. So I personally used them as a UA source for several games, and the performance was actually amazing. And we also talked about them in one of our episodes, and a bunch of people reached out to me immediately for an intro to Mistplay. So if you're looking for high-value users, check out Mistplay, get in touch at mistplay.com, or just ping me in the DM. So yeah, that's a nice plug right there. Thank you guys for being a sponsor of the podcast, and seeing you in Vegas as well.
As the third best UA manager on the podcast, I remember that. Like, I asked you, like, when I talked about them on the podcast, and then I was like, "Does it actually work?" And you were like, "Yes." So
there you go. Yeah.
There we go.
It's growing pretty
huge
fast
for so long. Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
It's really
hearing
good.
about it sometime.
Yeah, it's really good. And the thing is, you as a UA manager kind of running out of traditional UA channels, so this is a very good addition. It's only on Android though, so because iOS, they kind of suck. This can help you because look. So what I usually saw was very better retention because of the high engaged users, and also higher LTV. So it's kind of nice. And they also added
plugging something that works.
yeah, actually, yes.
Okay, good.
Which is always nice. But, yeah.
All right. What are we talking about today, Matej?
So, well, I hope we didn't want to bring again the game review because Jakub was very much pushing it because the new game. Is it the Honkai, the Star Rail, or whatever is it? That is really, it's really.
If we do another waifu game on this podcast, I might actually quit. We're not gonna beat this week in waifu games. Like, absolutely not.
It's not really a waifu game, man. It's not really a waifu game because I have male characters.
Yeah, two waifus and one male character. Oh no, it's two waifus and half.
It's probably 20-1, but it's still like one more than usual.
Yeah, so you're going to talk about some Admon shit since it was kind of we missed you last week, and then I want to continue on talking about the Viva La Dirt League because we didn't have enough time last week because Jakub started talking and you should just see his eyes and he was just like in the zone as soon as he started talking about.
He's passionate about
this. True. Yeah, but I drank all the margarita that I had in my glass, and I felt really like tipsy after he finished. I was like, okay, what? It was 40 minutes. So anyway,
it was
so I'm
not
gonna
40
talk
minutes. It was 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Okay, enough bickering.
Never mind. And then, yeah.
And then you got drunk.
Then I got drunk, and then I blacked out. Okay, anyway. So, and are you going to talk about the game and just show us some nice stuff? Okay, good.
Of course. Show us my wife.
Cool.
Where's my margarita?
Right. So, should I just get started?
Yeah.
So,
you can.
Since you twos didn't mention anything about ad monetization last week.
Oh, wait. We mentioned. Yeah, we mentioned that the game doesn't have ads.
Yeah,
there's no ad monetization.
Look how that episode is doing. Like our listenership, they want ads. They come here to look at ads. So I'm 100% sure that people who listen to this think that the most important thing is not UA, it's not the game design. It's just ads. You don't need UA or game design. Just put rewarded ads in an app that just pop up. That's what people want.
Exactly. Yeah, of course.
Okay. So now back to reality. So the fact is, it's been about 6 weeks since I did an ad monetization corner. And I think it's high time to do another round because quite a lot has happened in the smoky backrooms of ad monetization. So what's been happening? On Monday, May the 1st, there was a really big announcement from AdMob. They announced that they will move fully to real-time bidding auctions and will no longer respond to placement calls as of October 31st, 2023. This is big news, and I'm going to explain why. This means that AdMob will no longer be in kind of the waterfall. It will only be live on bidding. Right now, clients that have activated Google Bidding on, which I've talked a lot about on this show, they are live on bidding and on placements. And this together is like what has given the average uplift of ad ARPDA, like the 10+% that I've mentioned so many times on the podcast. However, as any astute Admon manager will tell you, is that Google Bidding, the average eCPM comes in at much, much lower price points than the AdMob placements. And this, is not small. This difference is actually quite big. The delta gap in eCPM pricing on bidding and placements is 50 to 70% in some cases. So when you actually remove the placements, that will mean Google Bidding's eCPM will probably increase, but I doubt it's going to increase as much as the eCPM does on placements. So first and foremost, this is not good for publishers that rely mostly on ad revenue. So Google removing the placements in October will also eliminate one of the most lucrative ad monetization hacks in the whole industry. So this is what I've mentioned a couple of times, that you refresh the ad mob placements. That will no longer be possible after October 31st. So I've mentioned that basically the ad mob placements, when you have them in the waterfall, forces fill for the new placements for the first 2-3 days. What I think they do is they probably cut their margin from 30% to 0% to basically force fill and basically to test out inventory. This sometimes even like doubles or triples your ad revenue from ad mob in like for a short amount of time. And there's a couple of gaming companies out there that do this pretty much either by script or actually have a human person do this. And they do it at quite like regular intervals to get this boost. So some of the bigger publishers in our industry rely on this to actually boost their revenue for their LTV calculation. And that will no longer be possible after October 31st. So in the short term, this means that ad revenue publishers will absolutely take a hit on revenue. So from a publisher's perspective, the best like setup that you can always have is having networks both on bidding and on placements. And that's not going to be possible for Google. And it's one of the biggest networks. So also, for example,
long term, Felix is losing his job.
Yeah, TLDR, I'm getting automated. This is the whole thing.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, no, the ad monetization job is going to be more related to like more going to travel more to like Remo sphere influence, because you still need someone that understands how these networks actually bid and function to actually still maximize revenues. But it's going to be more married in with game design. So it's going to be
yeah. Would you say?
You mean you need the game, not the ads?
Put more ads in.
Yeah. Where did I hear that? Okay. Never mind.
Yeah. So, for example, also the Google documentation says that also, like, if you have Google bidding implemented and AdMob placements, basically, if Google bidding makes a bid request on an impression, AdMob doesn't bid on that impression, like down in the waterfall, which kind of makes sense, right? Since, but that means essentially you always have something that if Google bidding doesn't make a bid, then you have the AdMob placements to back it up to sometimes also do the fill. So that makes sure that you always get the highest revenues. So the issue is kind of like everyone's like all these mediation platforms are kind of forcing like everyone to move to bidding, because also it's a new kind of revenue driver for mediation platforms, because they actually charge a fee for networks to actually have their bidders on their platform. So if placements, let's say if you're in Iron Source, for example, and you have Digital Turbine on placements, no money goes to Iron Source for those like impressions that are shown. But if you move into DTX on a bidder, essentially Iron Source charges a percentage on like the bidding fee, which kind of called a bidder fee or something like that. I think the standard in the industry is about 5%. That's the whisper number I'm hearing. So there's an incentive clearly for mediation platforms to move you to bidding, which kind of in the short to medium term can actually lead maybe sometimes to less revenues for like publishers. So yeah, it's an interesting time right now. So it's like in the long term, bidding is definitely the future, and it's like a really good thing because it cuts out like all this annoying hassle and work, and it will lead to more efficient UA. But in the short to medium term, there's actually going to be like a bit of a crunch, because it's like it's more efficient to use bidding, right? So the announcement also said that Google bidding will now be live on Chartboost's Helium, Digital Turbine's Fairbid, Unity's Level Play, and AppLovin Max for all publisher by end of this week. So yeah, it's an interesting move, which has been like kind of a long time coming. But in my eyes, this pretty much solidifies the mediation market into kind of a duopoly between Max and Iron Source. And it's been like this for kind of a very long time, but basically the biggest benefit from working on AdMob mediation, in my eyes at least, personally, was that you could use Google bidding. And now they can actually, like, they've enabled it on third-party platforms. So it's just kind of like, this is just a big change for everyone, right? And then this also raises the question, what will happen to Google Ad Manager resellers? Because it's also one of the things I've talked about on the podcast. It's a really good hack. When bidding is rolled out on the 31st of October, like Google Ad Manager increases Google's market share, but on the other hand, they kind of lose out on a bit of revenues because resellers tend to take a cut, right? So it's a really nice hack for Admon managers because you can kind of use it to compete up Google inventory. But overall, like, I guess if you think about it, like ad spend is kind of down, right? Overall, because of the slowdown in the economy. So it kind of makes sense, at least in my mind, that Google Ad Manager won't be touched, at least for the foreseeable future, because it increases market share. But right now, it's just like a lot of big changes are happening, and they're happening fast. So it's quite interesting time in ad monetization. I hope that wasn't too in the weeds.
Is this like this is what you're coming with after 1 week pause? I was expecting something more interesting.
This is all you can conjure up, Saruman.
This is all we can get.
I hate you both. Matej a bit more than Remo, but Remo I hate you too.
I know. And
this is big news.
It is.
It is. Like, you're getting automated. I feel for you.
All right, talk about Viva La Dirt League. I don't care.
No, I need to think about like how this is going to influence the whole UA as well on Google, especially. I know
you're going to be more efficient. You heard it.
Yeah, of course. Our third best UA manager on the podcast.
Wait, I'm the
already
second best.
Figured it out for
I'm
me.
the second best now.
No, I'm the second best. You're the third best.
We'll see. Okay. So we can go back to the Viva La Dirt League that we actually touched in the last two podcasts. Because obviously it's a very big YouTube channel now, and I didn't even know about them until the Call of Dragons. So yeah, I can't call myself a very good gamer, I guess, because it's like 5 million subscribers and on YouTube it's like super big, so everybody knows them.
And it's very old.
Yes,
it's
very
on
old.
YouTube standards.
And I'm gonna talk about the whole history and how they started and show some videos as well. So how did I ended up knowing them? But it's something different actually. So Call of Dragons was the main video that actually brought me to the YouTube channel. But then I started seeing all of these like different skits on YouTube, so I started actually watching them. So this one was the latest that actually was kind of nice. I mean, I'm gonna show it in the
the Raid Boss one. Okay.
Yeah, the Raid Boss one.
So it's essentially a comedy channel that makes gaming skits and gets paid for it by gaming companies.
Not only gaming skits, they have their own series which is called Board, which is about them selling gaming gear in like whatever Razer company or something. But yeah, most of it is like gaming focused, and they have like special series per special game or some kind of different thing there.
So I found out about them in this one, and it's really actually such a good video because it's very native and then funny, but also so true. So at the end, what I found out, there is actually a link to Raid Shadow Legends. This makes it so wonderful because I didn't even know I was watching an ad. Basically, it's so good. So I'm gonna show you the whole video in the background. But then, who are these guys? So Jakub, you know them, I guess.
Yeah, I've been watching them for like a lot of years, I would say.
Really? How did you find them?
If you're a gamer and you search for gamer stuff on YouTube, you eventually find them. That's the difference between noobs and gamers, you know.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Now I hate you as well. Okay.
Get in line, Matej.
You're making enemies, honestly. Well, I'm not the person who just try to search for all the builds and everything. I just play.
That's the ones that find them.
Okay, so who are actually? It's a bunch of nerds. I would say you would very much fit into this group, Jakub, as well. So from New Zealand, Alan, Adam, and Rowan, who play games and make comedy sketches about games. So the Rowan and Alan actually met on a film set. He was playing some New Zealand soldier. The other guy was playing a German soldier, and like they had to kill each other. It's like 2015. So it's really like all, like as you said. So the first video was released on YouTube. That was a StarCraft 2 parody video on 2011 called 8 Pool. I can play that. I didn't even know. It was so funny. So, I mean, like, how do you even start this type of like YouTube channel?
I think that like everything they did were completely organic. Like that's the magic of it, that they didn't really have a plan.
Think so. I mean, I guess
if you look at the previous videos they had and like what they were doing, it was pretty much just like selection by popularity, I would say, in a way that like what they did, they stick with the content that was most beloved by the audience and ditch the one that they didn't really like. Probably that's why their longest running series is the NPC Man, where they pretty much make fun of gaming logic and MMORPGs and have this kind of a parody world of mix between World of Warcraft and Skyrim, where like
Skyrim and Witcher as well.
Yeah, all of the things pretty much mixed in, but most of it is World of Warcraft and Skyrim. And then they pretty much saw the traffic, I guess, so they went after it.
Also, I mean, like, this is really, I was laughing my ass off, honestly. But then this was like the first video they published, and it went really viral immediately. Subreddits reached tens of thousands of views, and then they decided this was the direction they wanted to go and just started making more parody videos and some other videos as well on their own. And then the Adam joined them in 2015, so it was like 3 of them immediately. They started working on some StarCraft videos, and then started filming the Hearthstone videos as well. So it was like always around games. But then eventually, like you said, the new era of skits happened, and then they started doing this epic NPC Man. And the initial idea just came from a single line that one of these guys just written in their shared drive. And he just said, like, an NPC in a video game who knows he's in a video game. that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's the whole point of it. Like, it's brilliant.
That's beautiful. Says, it's based on World of Warcraft, Witcher, Skyrim mostly. And this was, I think, the first NPC Man was released on May 30th of May 2016. So that's like marked as the start of the Viva La Dirt League we know today. So, and they left their jobs even eventually in 2018, start focusing on this Patreon page, achieving 1 million subs on YouTube. So
they by the way have another channel where they play D&D, like high quality D&D. It's like they have a game master and they are all sitting around the table and actually playing the D&D, and like you see the camera of them being in the room and playing. And then when some kind of situation happens, they play it as a skit in the background of the video. So whatever, like I'm in this forest and like I met an orc lady and whatever, and you see them doing the skit on the video on top of it.
Nice.
So they're expanding pretty fast also. It's not only this channel that they have.
Yeah, well, look, so they hired the crew editors so they can actually focus on the creative work and don't do the post-production. And then now they're sitting on 5 million subs on YouTube, making great videos. It's really good channel, actually. Yeah. So hats off.
Why are we talking about this? Like compared to some of the other
channels?
Yeah,
that's really important.
Not that big.
Why
are we talking about this?
Just geeking out?
Yeah. So what does it mean to the UA landscape? So this basically became an additional UA channel for midcore games. which feels really, really native. And like this is, as I mentioned at the beginning, so you as a UA, I can stop sharing this actually.
Put a wargaming video that they have in the background.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So that I mentioned it, you as a UA manager, you're kind of like running out of the UA channels, and when you're scaling a game, you run basically everywhere. And in midcore games, it's kind of hard to find these players, and this is really actually fitting with the target audience that they have. So I watched Raid post videos that I played at the beginning. It was actually an ad, and they use deep links in the show note. And if you open up it on the PC, you're redirected to the landing page for the PC client and browser. And if you're opening it up on mobile, you're actually redirected to the store, which is kind of like great use of one link solution from AppsFlyer. So again, additional UA channel for midcore gamers. I think it was also a BlueStacks. That was like one of the new midcore channels. So you need these type of like small channels here and there to actually create the whole UA mix. The only problem with like how would you even measure this? Which I think like usual influencer marketing campaigns are always measured either by looking at the baseline of organics in the certain country prior to the campaign, and then right after videos are published, you are kind of measuring the delta between the baseline and increased organics. So you always include the link in the show notes, but then like nobody cares about the link anyway, right? Same as with the TV ads. And with Viva La Dirt League, it looks like they're running multiple ads for Raid and other games like wargaming. I saw some other like PC games. So this feels more like a proper, let's call it a branding campaign rather than just a pure performance-oriented influencer campaign. If I can, if something like that even exists.
The thing is that this is pretty much a step up from the usual influencer marketing, because influencer usually is like a one person that's centered on something, and it's very, very
and says focused. Like, hey, so I'm playing this amazing game.
Yeah, and you need to shill it out and like all these things that people hate, and like it works, but yeah, this is a step up because what they're doing, they're covering a wide audience. It's not just one game, one genre, one something. It's pretty much people that play games, because only those gamers, ones get the jokes. Like it's gamers wide, and I mean very wide. Yeah.
And if you remember, I was talking about this in the Flamboyant UA episode. So the Call of Dragons published their like Viva La Dirt League video in their Facebook ads. Immediately fans started recognizing Viva La Dirt League and just started writing comments like, hey, this is amazing. Wow, this is great. So it creates a lot of buzz and hype around this because they have their own fan base as well. And it's, they recognize them, which helps on the UA front quite heavily.
Just curious. So like Viva La Dirt, 5 million followers, right? I'm looking here right now. Their video views on YouTube is between 500 to 1 million per video, right? So like, I guess it's not about the video, it's about using the video for UA campaigns, right? Because like that's not that much.
It's a combination.
Right? Even if you get 1% conversions, that's
Oof, you have way more than 1% conversion.
Keep in mind that this is not random audience. This is very, very focused. Like that way, like from UA perspective, it's very focused because you have gamers.
Yeah, because like you have midcore gamers or MMORPG gamers because of all the skits they are doing, which are tied around the World of Warcraft, Skyrim, and then the Witcher.
Or even PUBG, like they have a PUBG series.
Yeah. So it's very core audience. So even if it's 1% of conversion, like you want these players. You want these players in the game right now. So definitely, one of the interesting new, like Jakub mentioned, step up in the UA.
What do you think they?
So I was talking about
they charge.
Ooh, yeah, one sec. I wanted to.
My guess is that nowadays they charge like 10 times more they charged before, because you can see it in the quality of skits. But don't know if I would compare this to something like Pedro Pascal campaign that Matchington mentioned it.
He's the new Tom Hanks.
Yeah,
Everyone
it's-
loves Pedro.
by the way, so we're walking around with my wife here, and she was like, "Oh well, have you seen the new like creamy series Pedro Pascal is in on Netflix?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like, I'm
Everybody
seeing it
thinks
on,
it's a series.
like wait, like I'm seeing it on, like I'm seeing it on Facebook. No, I'm not on Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, like he's always like trying to solve something. Like, are you talking about the game actually? It's like, oh yes, you're right. The merge match. Like I didn't know it's a game. I thought it's a Netflix series, and I was like, exactly,
It's your
exactly,
market fit right there.
exactly. I was like, exactly. I was looking into the comments under the videos, and everyone was like, it. Well, a lot of hate. Like, oh well, why are you doing this? Because like, you can do better. And then the other part was like, oh well, this is a Netflix series or a document or something. It's like, I need to watch this. And I was
Narcos season 4. Just keep it up.
so yeah, exactly. Oh, but I was trying to get the numbers. One sec, because I have I mean, it's not, I guess, not comparable, but I guess I have at least one Excel sheet with some pricing. So one sec. So these guys have 1 million. Well, so 1 million 1.7 million subscribers. The initial fee, yeah, like 20K
Per video?
So, yeah, Viva La Dirt League is definitely not in this category for sure.
So are we getting
there's
some
one
benchmark from like a random data point that
random,
we have?
yeah, random YouTubers or influencers that we have 1.6 million subscribers, 60,000 fee for a video. So I'm pretty sure that Viva La Dirt League is way different league in this category.
Probably 100 grand then.
They can
Much
probably.
more,
Yeah,
much more, I would say.
more.
Keep in mind that like the skits you see, they require a full production staff set.
Yeah.
Like it's
way
like no joke these days. I wouldn't be surprised if they charge like 1 million or half a million. Like
I would say
because they did like
half
5
a
to 4
million.
skits for Call of Dragons, I would say half a million, a million is completely okay.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Like 5 million, half a million. Yeah, but again, it's the audience you want.
Yeah, and it's like very smooth. It's no shilling, no like ad at the end of the video, ad and the start of the video that people skip or whatever. You even don't know you're watching an ad. It's like the best thing ever.
It's like when people reach out to you on LinkedIn being all friendly and it turns out they're just an ad.
Yeah, by the way, like our CEO is open for podcasts. Yeah, you should have him.
But
yeah.
it's like you put effort into it. It's like watching Super Bowl ads. People watch those because they're like funny and interesting and everything. And these are the same, like literally same concept.
Well, there you go. Second UA manager. He knows.
Second UA manager knows. Great addition to the podcast. Good to be back and hearing about this. Viva La Dirt League. There we go. Remo, save this podcast, please.
Please.
Okay, so are we resorting to the most powerful thing on the internet to say
ads?
Waifus.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God, not the wife again.
Why not?
Why not? Why yes?
Yeah, so let's go there. Here we have our nice waifu. She's called, by the way, March 7th. That's the name
what
of the character.
What are you talking about, Remo? First, to start off with, can you give an introduction?
The first waifu character I have here. That's the
No, but what's the game? Like, what's the game called?
Honkai Star Rail, the new sensation that is making 5 million a day. For those living under a rock, it's the new game from MiHoYo, the guys behind Genshin Impact, and it's actually a culmination of their original series because this Honkai IP is the one they had before Genshin, and this is actually like the biggest game from the series. It's actually an upgrade for Genshin, I would say. I'll get to like what this is actually about, but yeah, I guess currently it's blowing up the internet if you didn't see. Not that much in the Western world, more in the Asian world as usual, because you can see that this is more of like a Western game. Even the gameplay and everything, it is like that. But we'll
This
see.
is a mobile game or a PC game?
It's a mobile game, it's a PC game, it's a cross-platform
It's
game,
everything.
as usual.
It's
You
everything.
don't really throw 1,000 people to work on only a mobile game these days.
Yeah, you
work
open up
on
Toilet, you can play Honkai.
Yeah. Every single platform. So before we start really to dive into it, let's just talk about some numbers. So as I said, this is currently doing something within like 5 million. After the first week, it's already over 40 million in only mobile
Dollars or
IP
yen?
revenue. Dollars. And it's, I think, even higher than the Genshin first week compared to that. This had 20 million pre-registration.
Jesus Christ.
What?
Nothing. Yeah, just continue, please. It's so interesting.
20 million pre-registrations. It's really interesting in sense that if I look at the downloads, there's very, very, very big spike from US because just the first week number. So let's say they had 45 million downloads. And
pre-registrations.
Yeah,
that's what it's called. It's what it's called.
Yeah, and but it's actual downloads on the chart. Like I can see it here.
I know.
But US
they convert to instas afterwards.
Yes, US is 15 million. So less than half of it, but still like very big chunk. But if we go to the revenue, US is only 15%. And we get the usual suspects there, such as China doing 30%, Japan doing 23%, Taiwan 8%, South Korea 7%, Hong Kong 5%, and only there we have a first Western country, which is Canada, 1.5%. So yeah, probably you don't know about it because you are usually not living in Asia if you're listening to this podcast. But we would like
most
to change
probably
that.
No, yeah. And if you are living in Asia, you are most probably listening to the Legend of Slime episode.
Exactly. Yeah, but
by the way,
yep.
Before you continue, kudos to Yang from Endgame. He shared some really interesting backstory for a lot of Legend of Slime features and some stuff. So we are gonna cover that in the article afterwards.
Yeah. So before we continue, what do I need to do?
Boss
here?
enemy, kill it.
Yeah, want to go ahead, but don't know what's happening here. Oh yeah, okay. What's really interesting is that Genshin Impact before this game, they're like, it's like top 10 game in the world currently. For those not knowing, it's making billions. That game was pretty much like an iteration on Zelda Breath of Wild, which is an open world game from Nintendo. And you go around this kind of beautiful world in an open world fashion, destroy monsters and change your heroes, but you're still like having it like a single person open world RPG. This game, in layman's term, is Raid Shadow Legends from first person. So you're going around this world, dungeons, whatever. It's everything super polished, very high production quality. You would think like, yeah, that's combat. No, that's not combat. It's a turn-based combat. And I can play autoplay, and it will do autoplay. And it's turn-based, and I can do nothing. So it's basically a Raid Shadow Legends squad team RPG. The usual one, as you would see there. So even though it looks like, wait a second, this looks like Witcher or something. No, it's actually
how is this looking like a Witcher?
Open world game, and you have that view from the back of the character. That's like the usual
Except
one.
it's not as hard.
Yeah, well,
yeah. But anything, they just changed the core gameplay. It's pretty much very, very similar meta than Genshin Impact. The gacha and like the layers they have are very, very, very similar. I think the raids and like the overall kind of gacha pools that we're gonna go after.
Gacha pools.
Exactly.
Yes.
Are pretty much the same. MiHoYo, to be honest, is during like among the player community, known for being a little bit stingy regarding the drop rates and their generosity within these games. Because keep in mind, this is an Asian game, and Asian
Yeah,
gachas.
keep in mind they're making 5 fucking million a day.
Exactly. So Asian games, they have gachas that are the hardest one on the market, meaning that either you get it or you don't get anything. So that's usually what's there. So let me exit the dungeon here, for instance, and show you like the.
Oh, well, I bet he's chatting with his waifu friend on the waifu chat.
Yeah, they have a waifu chat here also, but it's not that prevalent as in. This is actually not a waifu game. Like,
where are the horse girls?
No. They don't have that. They don't have it. Like they still have some like crazy. I have a what I have 7 characters and 2 of them are boys. So yeah, no waifu game. And even if you look at the design of the characters, like it's not really playing super waifu thematically. Like waifu
it's
games
more close to Goddess of Nike, right?
Yeah, Goddess of Nike is like total waifu game.
Come on.
Okay, then. Show me these pools, man. I want to see the gacha pools.
Yeah. The usual thing happens here where they have this kind of a first pool where there's a discount here. So only 8 tickets for a temple. And that's the usual thing that's happening here. Then they have the usual event banner, meaning the one with like very, very good character that has like a minuscule chance to even see that. I don't know if we can put it out. Yeah, there's the drop rates just of the 50% of that character. But if we go into details, we see something such as where it is. Oh, let's do it through the other banner. Just wanted to show you the percentage so you can then see. Yeah, here it is. In this event, the base chance of obtaining 5-star character is 0.6%. Just so you know. And the good thing is that even though the chances and everything is very, very, very slim, they have PT timers. That's really good. PT timers meaning that after you draw a fixed amount of gacha pools, you get guarantees. It's still not the best that you can get, but at least the guarantees of rarity. So let's say here, if I draw 50 times from the gacha, 20 times remaining here, I will get the guarantee of 5-star character, for instance. So that's really good. But it can still be a shitty one, or let's say worst one, but usually 5-star is still better than every other 4-star or whatever you have there. But yeah, it's same as Genshin. Like I didn't see any difference. Regarding
why should I play this game and how they make money?
How they make money. That's why we were talking.
Are there ads? Of course,
no, there are no ads. Goodbye, Felix. The thing is that Asian games usually make most of the money on the revenue spikes with their limited gachas. So if we go back here, currently this girl that's on the banner, I guess she is the biggest money maker, because in order to get her, you need to really spend a lot. And by the way, the animation, it's like the thematic and like everything, it's so good. It's all based on this like fantasy of you riding a cosmic train that like serves between the planets, and there you like encounter everything and whatever. Wasn't even a drop. But like the story is pretty intriguing. It's super heavy on the story, to be honest. Like if I would compare it even to Genshin, like even Genshin had less story than this has. This has like so much more story, and it's like it feels like you are watching an anime, to be honest. Like it's like so much production value, and you can have different dialogue options. The characters are very, very fleshed out. Usually all of the characters that you meet you can either find in the gacha or you are given through like the tutorial of the game or whatever, and they are sometimes the usual anime tropes happens here, so that's there. There's a lot of like, let's say this NPC there that we have here, it's a shop, so you can like, they have shit ton of currencies, shit ton of progression, shit ton of vectors, and like all these other things. Like if I would get just to my character, I have the base character that I can level up and like increase her stats. I have the weapon.
MiHoYo has 4,000 employees, so
like it's really shows
this needs to be super high production.
The PC client is just the PC client is 10 gigs. I didn't even dare to install it on my mobile phone. To be honest,
10 gigs free on
Yeah, I don't even want to go through that. Like, this game is, of course, cross-platform, and you can play it on everywhere. I checked the mobile gameplay; it's pretty much exactly the same. That works great. But yeah, it's like this. It's approaching this kind of a new generation of mobile games where it really, like, you don't see the difference anymore. Like, if I would have a
Yeah, but you need to have 4,000 employees.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
like
that's
very
the main point.
interesting new generation.
Exactly, because there's so much more production value put
Yeah.
into these games. Like, it's so good. Like, if I would go to, let me go to my planet that I'm currently working at, and then I don't know if I can return where I was kind of going. Older town, yeah, just.
Still coming back to the discussions we had. You need more resources, more time, more
But keep in mind,
games in the one game.
even with
actually, to
4,000
make it work.
employees, or how much manpower they throw at this thing, they still use and recycle a lot of stuff they had from Genshin.
I want to see what this
Yeah,
looks
well,
on
that-
mobile, to be honest, because that's what we discussed, right? Like,
Exactly the same. I'll be
Yeah,
honest.
this is mobile.
No, this is not mobile. This is PC, but it looks
course,
exactly the same. Like, regarding the like UI and like all the things that you would expect from there, it looks exactly the same. So I don't see any differences.
Well, it needs to look and feel exactly the same.
yeah.
Plaza,
Okay, so this is going to be bigger than Genshin Impact.
just look at it. This is just marvelous, like how you can like put so much quality and detail into everything they had there, and it's just like one location that I'm going into. Like, yeah, very very good regarding that. How it makes money, as I said, it makes money most of the time by either you chasing after these very very rare characters, because let's say I'm currently having a free-to-play setup, like the build that I have here, like these 4 guys that I can kind of switch in between and like play with different one, but then in the battle, like, you see all 4 of them. This is a free-to-play setup that was given to me by the game itself, but if I want to really push it and do stuff like in time, it's like I would need to roll the gacha. The one really big difference here, by the way, and what I was seeing on the internet and like hearing people, this is pretty much a single player RPG. There's still no social functionality implemented into the game. No guild system, no PvP, no co-op system, or multiplayer features. The only thing you can do is the usual social helper thing, where if I would go, where is it?
Oh, you ask for resources.
No. You go into your friends menu and you can kind of get the character from your friends and use it in battle, if I understand correctly. So like the usual thing that AFK Arena has, like.
Yeah, but those are fake friends, no?
No. Those are real ones. Those are real.
Really, you have friends?
Yeah. Okay. Fall for that one. The other thing that they go after regarding like what do you want to buy is this kind of a trailblaze power or whatever you have, that pretty much their energy mechanic, same as Genshin has, which is like in Genshin it's called resin. Here it is this kind of whatever orbs. This pretty much bases your daily activity pool. So let's say here I want to do whatever this activity that gives me XP for my characters. I can do it only 18 times per day, and afterwards it goes into like cooldown stuff.
Only 18 times a day. I would expect more.
Remo, I want to hear how much you think this game is going to be making in a month.
In a month, more than 50 million.
A month. Okay, yes. In a year.
Genshin is making.
So this is going to cannibalize Genshin, right?
Yeah, that's the question. The IP is definitely a little bit different laid out, because keep in mind, this is not even though it looks like open world, this is not open world. This is corridor based, and it's like a turn-based RPG. The differences between the core gameplay and the team makes it itself a little bit of a different game. So I wouldn't really compare it to something like I don't know, Hope's Games, Guardians Games example. Like, it's not that similar, or it's more close to something like Clash of Clans, Clash Royale. To be honest, that was a really big stretch what I said now, but because this is definitely more similar, but the differences in core gameplay for some people are really, really big. Like some people hate turn-based combat. Some people like the action of the like real-time combat they have there, the open world nature of the game. So and the team, this is more sci-fi, definitely more sci-fi. Genshin is definitely more fantasy themed. So yeah, we'll see. But in Asian countries where this whole thing kind of works so good, like what are we even talking about? Like they have very small DAU in Japan and China or whatever based on the mobile numbers, and they're making shit ton of money, and they will make shit ton of money. So
Yeah.
Cool. Should we?
I think that this will not only temporarily, hopefully, but I guess this will be bigger than Genshin in a few months.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's an interesting.
Because it's as I said, it's a step
bold
up from
prediction.
Genshin. It's like a better version of it in a way. So why don't you?
Yeah, but you said
better version?
Yeah, because some people like turn-based combat and some doesn't.
Some people will play both.
Some people. But how can you find time for playing both?
You live in Asia, where this is a social activity.
But you said there is no social features
Yet.
Okay, seriously, we're ending now. Seriously, over. Podcast over.
Okay. All right. Yeah. We can end this now. So yeah, thank you very much for listening. And also, Remo, thanks for showcasing the game. I would, I wouldn't even download the game.
You wouldn't.
At least
you
for
wouldn't
now.
both survive the tutorial. It's so story-based heavy. I had to force myself. I'm like, why?
Really?
Yeah. Even for my standards, it was very story-heavy.
Oof,
and on that bombshell, time to end.
For me at all. Okay, come on. Thank you very much for listening. Please, visit the event page for MAU party. Send me a DM for an intro to Mistplay, and then see you next time. But also, don't forget to subscribe on your preferred platform. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye-bye. I can. That's fine. Come on.
Because I cannot put it on the other monitor, but yeah, let's fuck it. Well, it'll work.
Cannot put it on the other monitor.
Put it on a cheating monitor, if this was like a gaming thing, you'd be like under arrest for doping because you're using an emulator to play your mobile games.
This is a PC client, man. Fuck you.
Okay. Let's just get started because.